Hey everyone, today we're diving into a really powerful way of looking at the animal kingdom. It's a view that sees animals not just as resources, but as entire nations, totally deserving of our respect. So let's get into this Islamic ecological perspective and see just how deep this idea goes.
Everything really starts with this one single verse from the Quran. Just let that phrase sink in for a second. Communities like you. Wow. This one idea completely reframes our entire relationship with the natural world. It's saying we're not at the top of some pyramid, but that we're living alongside other communities, other nations.
The key word here is the Arabic term ummam. It means communities or nations. So when the Quran talks about animals, it's not just talking about organisms. It's describing them as fellow nations, each with its own society, its own purpose, and its own inherent value. I mean, that's a massive shift from seeing nature as something for us to just conquer and use.
Okay, so if animals really are nations, what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? Let's take a look at how the Quran itself lays out this incredible blueprint for seeing the world.
The idea here is that animals are considered AYAT, which means living signs. You can think of them as vibrant, walking, swimming, and flying reflections of divine qualities, like creativity, wisdom, and especially mercy. Their very being is meant to make us stop, think, and feel a sense of awe.
And this feeling of connection, it's even backed up on a biological level. The Quran says that all living creatures were created from water. It's this incredible concept that points to a shared origin, and it's meant to build this deep sense of kinship between us and every other living thing on this planet.
You know, this connection isn't just poetic, it's ecological. Every single animal, from the tiniest insect to the biggest whale, is seen as a crucial part of a balanced system. They're like the essential workers of the planet, playing these vital roles in pollination, keeping soil healthy, even regulating the climate. Each one has a job in this amazing, intricate tapestry of life.
But their role goes beyond just the physical world. According to Islamic tradition, all of creation, every animal, every plant, you name it, is constantly glorifying God, each in its own way. So this means animals aren't just biological things, they're actually fellow worshipers, all part of this universal chorus of praise.
All right, so that's the theology, the big picture. But how does this grand vision actually translate into our daily lives? For that, we turn to the example set by the Prophet Muhammad, which really brings these principles to life.
This right here, this teaching is at the heart of it all. The core idea is rahmah, which is this universal compassion or mercy. This saying tells us that any act of kindness toward any living being, no matter how small, is a source of spiritual reward. Mercy isn't something you pick and choose. It's for everyone and everything.
And believe me, these teachings have real spiritual weight. On one hand, you have a story where a simple act of mercy, giving water to a thirsty dog, becomes the very reason for a person's sins to be forgiven. But on the flip side, an act of cruelty, like trapping a cat and letting it starve, is cited as a reason for divine punishment. The message couldn't be clearer. How we treat animals matters. A lot.
This accountability gets really specific, especially when it comes to taking a life. Killing any animal without a just cause, say for sport or just out of carelessness, is strongly condemned, even something as small as a sparrow. This establishes a powerful principle about the sanctity of animal life.
So what happens when you put this powerful Quranic vision and the Prophet's lived example together? Well, what you get is a clear, compelling ethical model for how to be a steward of the earth.
Here are the cornerstones. It's about respecting biodiversity as a kind of divine art gallery. It's about living in balance, actively protecting habitats, and avoiding harm and exploitation. But ultimately, it all boils down to two huge principles: justice, giving every creature its due, and mercy, treating all of creation with deep, genuine compassion.
And you know what? This ancient framework speaks directly to our modern ecological crises. The Quran mentions corruption appearing on land and sea, and Islamic scholars have linked this directly to human actions, specifically our arrogance and our negligence. The environmental chaos we see today is seen as a direct result of us failing to be those just and merciful stewards.
So in this tradition, protecting biodiversity and fighting for our planet isn't just a nice thing to do or some moral obligation. It's a deeply spiritual calling. It's about getting back to balance and living in the harmony that was intended from the start. Environmentalism, in a way, becomes an act of faith.
All of this brings us to a final, more personal place. How do these huge cosmic ideas actually connect with our own individual lives, day to day?
So let's just pause and ask a really simple, direct question. Think about it. From the insects in our homes to the birds outside to our own pets,
How do our actions really stack up against this principle of mercy?
Now let's take it a step deeper. Is compassion something we only switch on for other people? Or have we really, truly internalized it as a universal principle, something that guides how we interact with every single living creature we come across?
And finally, looking forward, what are the practical steps, big or small, that we can actually take? This isn't just about not causing harm. It's about actively working to protect these communities like us. And that's a powerful question to end with. How can we become better citizens, not just of our human nations, but of this entire planetary community we all share?